Shevon Stoddart, 400-meter hurdler. Can you just tell us a little bit about, we haven't seen much of you this season. Just tell us what went wrong.
Well, after the 2008 year in Olympics, which was a really good season for me, I had switched coach and I relocated to Atlanta, but then I had an ankle issue that basically kept me out for that season. Ran a little bit, but I couldn't because of the ankle, and got back on the track this season, but the training just did not work out well for me. So I'm actually relocating back to LA with my former coach, which I had the best success with. So I'm really excited and looking forward for this next 2011 season.
How much of a disappointment was it for you in 2010, and how important is that 2011 season for you?
Well, with me not being able to compete to the ability that, I wanted to compete for this past 2 years, it definitely hurt because, I want to be out there on the track, running with my, fellow teammates and everything. So I got that hunger for the next season, so, I'm looking forward for the next season.
Just looking back a little on the 2010 season, which you mentioned you weren't a part of,
yes.
And last year also at the national championships you would have finished, I think, 4th.
Yes.
Looking back on those 2 seasons, do you regret not being on the track?
Do I regret not being on the track? Well, obviously I always want to be on the track, but I wasn't able to because of the ankle issue. So, with taking that, I see what's out there, I see what they're running, so I know that, what I have to do for the next season, and I'm ready to train hard and work at bringing home something next year.
What would be the aim for you next year? You mentioned it's a very important year.
Yes, obviously to come down here in June and make the team for the 2011 World Championship team.
4 persons will qualify from Jamaica next year.
Yes.
Callie Spencer is running good now. There's Melanie, the defending champion and the Olympic champion. There's also Nikisha Wilson, who will be heading off to the Commonwealth game, and yourself. That's yes. 4 persons, but there are others out there that will be, vying to get into that top 4. How can we be sure, or how can you be sure that you'll be a part of that 4 heading into the World Championships?
Well, I know that coming down to the trials, I know that you have to be able to run very fast at the trials to advance. So, my job is to make sure that I'm on the top of my game so that I can come down to trials and not only make the team, but win.
Just tell us exactly what, would have kept you, what injury would have kept you from the track, and also if you're fully recovered.
Yes, the injury that I had was a joint injury in my ankle. It was a pinching of the joint. I wasn't sure exactly how it came about. Not really sure if it was orthotics or what the situation was, but my foot is better and I'm 100% and I'll be ready.
You mentioned change of coach.
Yes.
You didn't say who you were working with for the last year or 2 and who you are planning to return to.
Well, I'm going back to my former coach, Larry Wade. I was here in Atlanta training at Georgia Tech. Not that the program was not good, it just didn't work for me. So I'm just making the proper changes so I be prepared for the next season.
And finally, Jamaica is dominating track and field, especially the shorter distances. How much do you want to be a part of that? What do you want to leave the sports with, and for persons to remember you as?
Well, I've been running for Jamaica since 2004. I've made it to pretty much every championship team, besides the fact that I wasn't able to run at the last championship, So I definitely want to be ready, come home with a medal, because that's what I've always wanted, from the World Championship team as well following 2012 Olympics.
Okay, thank you very much for talking with us on trackalerts.com.
You're welcome.